Okay. So, if you didn't see my live stream, Nazi Zombies, I'm not gonna say go watch it or whatever because this is a serious topic, and I feel like I it's not my place to talk about it because, well, whatever. Um, judging from the title, you already know what it is. Um, suicide. Um, I've known three people attempt and succeed. And why I'm putting this out here is because I feel like this generation needs more people to realize that there are serious issues for mental health and that people need to know that are there's someone out there for you. If you don't go to therapy, fine. Okay, I wouldn't blame you because me and myself, whenever I had to go to therapy, because they thought I was impulsive. They thought I had ADHD because my depression was really bad that day too. And from here and there, it gets bad still. No matter what I do, there's only a few people I really talk to help my mood, and I think those people know who they are. I hope they do because thank you. I know me and you guys don't really get along. I'm talking to the audience and to my friends that might see this, might not. I don't know. But still, thank you for being here through my journey, and I hope that you stay here in my journey. But I don't know, because I've lost a lot of good people, and I can't stand to lose anyone else. I almost lost someone. I'm pretty sure last week. I don't know. It was such a horrible week. It, it's just it hurts knowing that people seem to forget that, like, I'm not saying like you need to realize that people are here for you, that like nobody deserves to get that pounded into their skull, cuz I know what it's like to be beat to your knees and feel like you're useless, that you don't belong here, but that's the side of your mind telling you that whenever the other side can't overpower it. They say there's always good, and they say that the good comes with the bad. Most of the time, I'd like to say there's more bad than good, but that's just me because that's my past and my present. Everything that's going on right now, I feel like I can't take hold of it, and that's why most people just try and kill themselves because they feel alone. They feel like they aren't good enough because say they grew up in an abusive family that beats them, or that they do drugs and they just forget about the children, or they let their children do drugs, or something like that. They grow up with one supportive adult and the other one leaves, or they both leave, and then you're there with your grandparents that try to do their best, but they can't do enough. Or maybe your parents are just too strict or whatever. What I'm trying to say is there will always, you have a purpose. And I'm an atheist, okay? But if I wasn't, what I would say is God put you here for a purpose. He wants you to find it, and everything that one of my friends said to me whenever I was going through my major depression, he said, God is only putting you through a test to see if you can succeed and if you're willing to go forth through that test. and I made it through the test, and now I feel energized and hopeful. But before that, I was hopeless. I had no strength to do anything, no energy. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do my work for school. I just sat there blank minded, overthinking. I still overthink. I'm the second biggest overthinker at my school, and sometimes it's fun because like ate and eat same words, but whatever. That's off topic. But there's there's some people that you just can't help, and it hurts because you love the dude or girl, or you know, and you just can't do anything about it, no matter how hard you try, no matter what you do. They just can't seem to get out of that depressive episode or depressing mood. And maybe someone said something to them and they just overthink that, and they just one of the major things I see wrong with the society is the fact that they don't think they're good enough because the parents. I'm not saying that everybody's parents are like this, because I know most aren't, but some parents just down talk their children so much that they don't feel like they're good enough, and the fact that maybe their dad didn't show up for their birthday, or the fact that their dad isn't there for them whenever they need a dad, because I need my dad most like here and there, but he's just not there, and whenever he is, he's just not pretty. So also another thing notice is the fact that no matter what we do, we just seem to mess up, and we just it seems in our mind it seems like we can't do enough, that we aren't good enough for someone, something, or to be in somewhere like college, school, work. Um, According to who, there are hold on. Actually, I can look this up. Unless it's saved in my images, it's probably saved in my images. Um, okay, 1 million. According to WHO, approximately 1 million people commit suicide each year worldwide. That is about one death every 40 seconds, or 3,000 per day. For each individual who takes his or her life, at least 20 attempt to do so. Suicide has a global mortality rate of 6 per 100,000 people. And it, reading that really does suck, because being depressed isn't like, oh, I didn't get that ice cream, so I'm depressed. Depressed is feeling no emotions, feeling like you're worthless, and you just don't want to do anything but die. And it sucks, because once you're in that position, it's hard to get out. And if you push away the people who want to help, they it depends on the people, because some people, if you push them away, they don't come back. But then again, if you push some people away, like you love, is because you're testing them to see if they come back. That's what I used to do until I realized it's not the best idea. That if you push them away for so long, they'll think that you're fine, that you don't need them, but deep down you know you do. It doesn't matter who they are. You just think about it like this: you go to school, okay? You go to work, you go wherever. Say there's a bully. Okay, you got a bully, a teacher, your mom, your dad. your little sister, or your little brother. Bully always bullies you. He wants you to give him money, wants to cheat, all that. Mom and dad always argue, and later on you think it's your fault because they always bring you up in their arguments. Your little sister doesn't know what's going on, and you're just sitting there like, what's going on with my life? So one day you're sitting there in class, bully comes up to you, punches you in the back of the head, or slaps you in the back of the head, grabs your hair, throws you to the desk, busts your nose. Okay, cool. You say that's a typical day. You go home. You go to your room. You don't say hi to your little sister. You don't say hi to your mom because your mom and your dad are arguing as usual. So you go to your room. You turn off your lights. You shut the door, and then you just sit there and stare at the ceiling. And then you close your eyes and you try to imagine what life would be without all these issues. And every single time you do that, it only makes your mood worse. And then you start to think that it will never be good. So therefore, you either say you get up, you go to the kitchen later that night around 12:46, 12:45, and you grab the knife, grab the medicine, grab the bleach, whatever it is, or all three, or you get your bed sheets, tie them up to the ceiling fan, and you get on your bed and you jump. You cut your wrist, you cut everywhere, you cut under your thigh, you take the ibuprofen with the morphine, with all that, with the bleach, and then boom, you're on a time limit with all of them, and you just sit there and think life will be so much better and that nobody will miss you. That's what you think. That's not what you know because you won't be here to see the outcome. And you chose the easy way out instead of thinking that, holy crap, I might be missed, but you think that you're nothing to the people because you were never acknowledged and you were always blamed for stuff and that you were always bullied. Well, think about it like this. Mom goes to your room that morning to get you up because she thinks that you're sleeping in because you stay up late. Cool. You stay up late playing whatever, watching Netflix, whatever. She goes into your room. You're under the covers from the pills that you took, or you're bleeding, or I mean you're dead from the loss of blood, or she walks into your room and sees you hanging. Either one of them, she's gonna sit. She's gonna take a second to realize what just happened. She's going to overthink. She's going to break down. She's going to cry. She's going to scream. And none of this you thought of because you thought she didn't care because you always thought since they were arguing it was your fault because your name was always brought up, but it really wasn't your fault. Parents argue because that's what parents do. Your little sister comes in and she asks mommy what's wrong. Why isn't Big Bro getting up? She runs over to your little sister, grabs her, and pulls her in to hug her, and doesn't allow her to look at you because your little sister's clueless of what's going on and what just happened. Your mother calls your father, and he comes home. On the way home, he's crying, he's bawling, he's overthinking, he's thinking it's his fault. He caused all the arguments. He didn't take you to wherever you wanted to go, whenever you had money, whenever your friends asked you to come over, whenever your friends needed your help with a project, you just couldn't go because you were grounded, because you didn't do your chores or whatever, because you were suffering with depression and your mood just got too low. So he's on his way home, overthinking, wishing he could have done something and wishing he did something different. He gets home, he runs to your room, sees your mother still crying. He goes and looks at you and he breaks down crying. They're all except your mother and father are crying, but your little sister doesn't know what's happening, so she's worried, and then she starts crying because she doesn't know what just happened. Your mother goes about 2 days later. Your mother and father haven't left the house, haven't done anything but eat, and they hardly slept. So they decided to go. Your mother decided to go to school and tell your teacher, your principal, and everyone else. She walks into the classroom and goes to tell your favorite teacher or your teacher. And she walks in. Teacher says, "Hello. Where is your son?" Your mother automatically starts breaking down, crying because she doesn't want to accept that you're gone, and then she has to tell the story. And automatically, your teacher gets the worst feeling. And as soon as your mother um, her told the teacher, she starts breaking down, and then the class that she's teaching comes back from lunch. The bully's in there. Your buddies are in there. The geek that you helped out from the bully is there. Everyone's there. Your your ex, the girl that never talked to you, that you wanted to talk to you, is there. So your mother gets at the front of the classroom and starts explaining everything. The bully starts crying and thinking, "What could I do? What should have I done? Why did I bully him? Why did I push him to this stage? Why didn't I leave him alone whenever he was crying and I was beating him up? Why didn't I listen to him? Why didn't I leave him alone?" The geek starts crying because you was his little you were his friend, you were the only protection he had. And then the girl that you liked starts crying because she thought that since she didn't let you come close, that she didn't talk back, that she was part of the reason. The teacher started crying because of the times that she gave you detention, that the times that she made you do sentences, that she made you do extra work. Then she goes to tell the principal, and then the principal starts crying, the vice principal starts crying, everyone in the office starts crying. You go back home. It's 2 weeks later. Your funeral happens. Everyone that you came in contact with, everybody that you knew, everybody that you once knew is there, all dressed in black, and they all one by one go up to give the speech. Gives the speech that they wrote, and one by one, each person started crying harder and harder because they had to accept that you were gone, and your mother and father just sat there bawling their eyes out because they couldn't save the only son that they had because he thought that he was alone whenever he really wasn't. But you thought they didn't care, right? A month goes by. They don't touch your doorknob. They don't. They don't go. They hardly go past your room because of the 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 sadness that they feel, that they have whenever they think of you. But that's the thing. They always thought of you, and they always will think of you because you were their only son or daughter. But you didn't. But you thought they didn't care, right? You thought since they always argued that your little sister was so annoying that whenever she came into your room whenever your friends were over, that she was annoying, that she didn't care. Whenever in reality, she just really loved you and she really admired you because she looked up to you because you were the only other relative in her life that actually gave her some type of attention, even if it was picking on her, taking her food, taking her toys, or if it was the complete opposite, because she cared for you, she loved you, and she thought of you as the big bro, but you thought she didn't care, right? Oh my god, I'm gonna start crying. A month and a half goes by. Finally, your mother and father go inside of your room. Your little sister comes in with her little blankie, or her little blanket, or a little stuffed animal. She comes in too, and they put a rug over the blood puddle that you you bled out from, or they took the robes from your bed. I mean the sheets from your bed, and put them in a corner or back on the bed. They go back, they go to your room, sit on your bed, and they start looking at pictures of the whole entire family, wishing that you were still there, but you thought they didn't care, right? And then your little sister starts crying because she understands that you're gone and that you can't come back. So since she's crying, your mother starts crying, and then your whole entire then your mom and your dad starts crying, all all because they cared, but you didn't think they cared enough, and so you took your life because you thought you were alone. And they set up your bed, they clean everything, they clear the dust off your shelves, off your bookcases, off your TV stand, off your favorite book. They organized your closet, they did everything, and then they shut the door and they tried to move on with their life, but they couldn't because the thought of you being gone, still being gone, and them not being able to help still bothered them. And what I'm trying to say is, don't ever think that you're alone or that you're not cared for, because even the bully that bullies you cares for you, or else he wouldn't be bullying you. Or maybe he just has a bad life at home and he needs some help. Or that nerdy geek that you help every single day, or he helps you with the math test that you struggle with every semester. He cares for you. That's why he helps you. The girl that the girl that never gave you a chance, maybe she wasn't the one for you, or maybe she was just too scared to love you or like you because she was scared to actually commit to a relationship that she never had because you're so amazing. Don't think that you're alone in this world because someone says that you're not worthy, that you're not special, because you are and you have a purpose. And most people say they aren't proud of you whenever they really are. They only say that to push you to the extra level they think you should be, but only you can push yourself to that level. But some people try to help you by pushing you to that level. It just sucks knowing that you can be there for someone and then they'll think that they're alone and that they'll say they're fine and that they're all right. They don't need help. They're fine. They go to school with a fake smile. They go to work with a fake smile. They do whatever with a fake smile because they're too scared to let people in because of their past of untrust, because of their trust issues, because people hurt them whenever they finally let the people that they loved and cared for in. Suicide is only taking the easy way out, in my opinion, or is eliminating the only possibility that things will get better because you think it'll only get worse because of the situation that you're in. Going back to what I said at the beginning of the video, saying um, you think that you're alone because your parents argue and they blame it on you, or the bully bullies you too much and does too much to you. This is a hard subject to talk about because I used to be in that situation. Oh my God. There's only so much that people can do to help a suicidal person, and most of the time they don't call the hotline because they're too scared that the people on the hotline will judge them. They're too scared to open up to someone because they'll judge them. They're too scared to open up to someone because whenever they argue with them, they'll bring it up in the conversation. I mean, the argument, and that's what our generation is filled of is fake people who use what you tell them against you, and that's what drives most people to depression, things like that. Is you thought you could trust this person, but they don't trust. They hit you right back to where you told them all this stuff, and it hurts to think that you used to trust this person, but you just can't. It just hurts. And just because a girl doesn't like you and you like her, or the girl likes you but you don't like her, that doesn't mean there's just that one person. There's more people out there, and if your parents don't care for you, your grandparents don't care for you, you have friends, you you, you could write a story about what you're going through. You can play a game. You can watch TV shows, for example. You can watch The Flash. You can watch The Arrow. Those are good motivational series and seasons. Um, you can listen to music even. You can listen to NF, Eminem, Till I Collapse is a good song if you ever really want to get motivated, if you ever really want to push yourself to the absolute limit. NF, When I Wake Up, The Search, Time is a good one if you're ever going through a relationship problem. How Could You Leave Us is about his mother taking pills or whatever. Yeah, taking pills. If You Want Love by NF, that's a good one. If you want love, you're gonna have to go through the pain. Um, just hurts. But just know you're never really alone in this generation, even whenever everything seems to be falling down. Because something in a quote that happened in Hacksaw Ridge, how what I do when everything I love is under attack. I asked several people that. Most people didn't have an answer because they just don't know. Most of them said fight back, Most of them say, think about what you're fighting for. Is it worth it? Is it worth your mental energy? Is it worth your physical energy? It just depends on the things that you love if it's really worth it. Suicide is never worth it. Just because you think it will solve your problems, it doesn't solve other problems. Because whenever you eliminate the chances of you being better, of someone actually caring for you, that person who cared for you will think it's their fault because they couldn't help enough, because they thought you wasn't there, because they thought they wasn't there for you enough, but in reality they was, and you couldn't let them in. And I understand that, but it's worth giving a shot here and there. Just suicide shouldn't even be an option, but most people think it is, and they'll think it's the first priority to their biggest problem ever. Like, say that your mom just got done beating you. Hey, my mom beat me. What else? What else could go wrong? I'm not saying that she beat me. I'm saying, like, just picture it. Mom just got done beating you. Your mom and your dad just got through a divorce, so she took it out on you. Um, you failed eighth grade. Everything is just at rock bottom, just rock solid bottom, and a rock fell on top of you, and now you're mixed in with it. So you can't get up because the rock's too big. Okay, cool. You don't have to move it. You just go through it. You don't have to forgive or forget, but sometimes it's just best to try to forget. You don't have to forgive. Just try to forget. Suicide should never be the last option because you're always loved by one person. No matter how many things they say, no matter how many things they do, they'll they love you. They they want to help. You just have to be willing to tell at least one person what you're going through, or at least tell one person like what's on your mind. If you don't trust one person, you can trust another person, but that one person that you don't trust gets mad at you because they know no longer. So be it. Okay, at least you're talking to someone, trying to get help. Just let that person be mad at you because you don't want to tell them, because you know that they'll use it against you in an argument. Just let them be. If they're mad at you because you're going through personal problems and you don't want to tell them, then they're not a real friend. They're not a real person to you. They're just a fake person who's trying to bring you down. Everyone who's trying to bring you down is already below you. And whenever you're going through a relationship issue, breakup, cheating, if they cheat on you, leave. Don't give them a second chance. Um, if you have arguments, always try to find an agreement and fix it, and try to forgive each other. And just, if you ever have suicidal thoughts, you can you can call the hotline that I'm going to leave in the description. You can I'm not trying to get exposure for any of my social media because this is a real issue that should be try to be handled. You can talk to me through my social media. You can listen. You there's always another option. There's always hope at the end of the tunnel. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. If you can't see light at the end of the tunnel in front of you, try looking behind you and go that way. But yeah, almost cried during the other speech. Just know that you're not alone in this big, evil world, and that you're special to someone, you're special to one person, if not many people, because I know one person that's really special to me and that I love, but can't I just can't express how I feel for them because I know if I do that, it'll only put pressure on them because I really want to date her, but it's complicated. And if it's like that, you like someone but they're going through something and just give them just give them time. I wouldn't say give them time and you go date another girl because if they know that you like them, don't don't give them time and go off and date another girl trying to spend the time or go off and date a boy because that will only crush them because they thought that you loved them. It will only crush them. Anyways, I feel like I talked a lot about some things. I, f- I feel like I didn't really do a good job at it, but just realize that you you're cared for, you're not alone, and no matter what happens, you can get through it because it's only a test. It's only a test to prove that you're strong enough that you can get through life. There will be several obstacles, there will be several tests that seem impossible, but they're really not. Just sit there, think three ways to the problem or to the issue, go with the best one, even if it has the worst consequences, and you'll make it out stronger than what you was, and you'll make it out as a better person, even if people don't like you for it. They're not you. They don't know what you've been through. Only you're tough enough to push through and go through. Anyways, I'm going to be leaving the suicide hotline in the description, my social media. Um, I'm also going to be sharing um, the channels that the people who helped me the most through some issues, like the people who I love talking to and that help me the most. I'm not going to put them in like number one, number two, number three because I'm not like that, even though it's kind of like that, but I'm just not going to do it. But yeah, I'm going to put two people in the description and then the suicide hotline, my Instagram, and all that. Don't be afraid to tell someone that you need help because even if that makes you seem weak, it is actually the strongest thing you can do while you're in that mode or in that position. Just remember that. Just remember that. The strongest thing that you can do for yourself is tell someone that you're not okay. But anyways, I, I hope that some of that helped. Hope some of that isn't too confusing. Because if it is, I don't know. Anyways, I'm a go now.